Morning. I'm going to chat a little bit because it's just come to the top of my head about why are so many of us suffering with gut issues, and also to explain why often we use supplements and protocols or even medication on the path to healing, but they're not actually the way that we heal for the long term. The short term stopgap to help us learn some skills and tools, make some changes to create sustaining improved gut health. So at the beginning of the pandemic, I predicted, and I wrote about it, that we were going to see a load more gut problems. So I did a lot more study in why I felt that was happening, which was the trauma response. You have to excuse my hat, I've just been swimming, and because I wasn't well for the past few weeks, I lost some weight, and oh my god, I can't keep myself warm in the swimming pool. It's funny, that small drop in body fat makes all the difference to staying warm when you're swimming. So I'm just having my coffee, and I'm always thinking about people and their health and watching and observing, and often banging my head off a wall because we never, as humans, seem to want to do the work to get ourselves better. We want to blame other things, or we run around and life is too fast. But ultimately, for deep healing, we have to create changes. So why so many gut problems? Well, there's the obvious ones. Our lifestyles, our diet, and our stress levels. And then there's sort of slightly sneakier, covert ones, which would include the fact that our food has a lot more pesticides, herbicides, fungicides in there. Even if we're buying the fruit or the vegetable or the raw grain, the things that are coming out of the ground, they're coming with more on them, and they're coming from a place where the soil isn't as nutrient dense as it was before. As a sheer product of over farming and excess need, our population on the planet is just booming all of the time, and we're trying to feed people. And we try and create too much food, actually, because it's an industry. So in America, I think they make something like 4,000 calories a day per capita of food. So it's no wonder we have this obesity problem. But anyway, I'm jumping off on a tangent. So it's not in the food, and the food is coming with stuff. And then if food goes down a processing route, loads more is happening to it as a function of contamination as the food is being processed and things intentionally added. Thickeners, sweeteners, fats, all the stuff to make food into that yummy, palatable, sweet treat or ultra-fast food that we all are eating way too much of. And these create more inflammation, they increase gut permeability. If there's more handling along the way, there's more chance of there being pathogens possibly with it. And then as the food is going down that processing line, the fiber is being stripped from it. So that fiber, which works as a prebiotic in the gut and also has other functions to trap and pull things through and just generally support really healthy digestive function, these things are being stripped while more is being added. So the gut is the first root of assault for how diet is affecting us directly and then indirectly. Indirectly in that we're just not as healthy as we were. So food plays a big role in why we're seeing more gut problems. But I feel the biggest trigger on our gut health of late is actually how we're living our lives, the pace that we're living our lives at, all those subtle, small, adverse life experiences or mini traumas that we go through between birth and even pre-birth to now. We aren't educated in how to manage stress in our bodies. We can't avoid stress. It's not a case of avoiding stress. It's how do we manage? Because by learning how to manage stress, we become more resilient. We adapt better. We become stronger. We thrive in life better. So if, as we're going through stress, and it seems to be non-stop right now. Not big stress. Most of us are living relatively comfortable lives. We complain a lot, but we still are more privileged than any generation ever. We're living longer. We have, more disposable income and more opportunity for doing things. Even though things are challenging right now, we have a huge awareness of what's wrong in the world, and that is bothering us, a lot of us, understandably. So it's not that we need to avoid stress, it's just that we've constructed lives because of chasing all the things that are important to us that just don't stop. It's a kind of long-term, chronic, low-level stress. You have to get somewhere on time. That journey is full of traffic. We're rushing down our food. We're packing in too many things in our day. We have excess pressures in work. We have huge expectations from within us and from coming outside on top of us to constantly be going up that ladder. The bigger car, the bigger house, the better job, more money. And so media, technology has created kind of this low-level constant bombardment on us. And until we can learn how to settle our nervous system in these situations, keeping our posture good, keeping our breathing good, managing how we eat in these moments of stress. We should be stopping to eat, letting the system kick into the branch of the nervous system that helps us rest and digest our food, but we don't. We eat on the go. Sleep, learning how to manage our sleep. Even when we're doing, and when we're active in doing things, even when it's sport or work, again, awareness on posture, breathing, how our bodies are sensing and processing the world and then rebalancing themselves, giving ourselves time when we come out of that crazy world to rebalance. In nature, we have a requirement in our being to be in peace, quiet, and I'm pointing this way because that's where outside is right now. We need nature. We need earth frequencies. There's a huge connection between the earth's geomagnetic frequencies, the Schumann frequencies, and patterns, brain patterns, and also cardiac patterns, probably every patterns. We are an electrical field at the end of the day, walking on another electrical field, influenced by solar and lunar, which are also fields. So if we don't manage all of these things, we're going to run into trouble. And often it's the gut that is experiencing it first. Then COVID arrived, pandemic, shattered our whole belief system about the safety of the world. We slowed down for a bit, and then we thought, oh, this is great. The canals in Venice are clear, the water is clearer, pollution is less, the skies don't have planes with trails everywhere. And then we forgot about that moment, and we went back to the rat race. But what had changed was trust. Suddenly we had lost our trust in one another because we were bombarded with, that person's going to make me sick, that person's going to make me sick, that unvaccinated person over there is going to kill me. And then you had others that were in fear. This vaccine's going to hurt me. I don't trust the medical system. Rightly so. We should always ask questions. Our bodies became a giant experiment lab for vaccines. That's just the way it is. We won't know the full outcome of COVID, vaccinated or not vaccinated, for another 10, 20 years as the research will roll in. So we became very distrustful of everything out there coming at us. Someone has a sniffle. Oh my God, I'm going to get COVID. And then the media just went bonkers. We're getting bad news everywhere. When's the next pandemic going to happen? We have wars. We have energy crises. So our being, our safety, what we're sensing and connecting from the world in an obvious and also in a less obvious way is impacting us, our health. We're in a state of sort of chronic, oh my God, what is going to happen next? Do you think your digestive system can thrive in that? Never mind your cardiac system, respiratory system, our hormonal systems. No, we're going to be impacted by all of it. And that is why we're seeing so many gastrointestinal conditions rearing their heads. Small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, infections, IBS, inflammatory bowel diseases. These then impact the liver, which then impacts the state of inflammation within the body. What's going on in the gut will also impact the brain. We have more information going from the gut to the brain through the afferent nervous system than we have from the brain to the gut in the efferent nervous system. So it affects our mood, our cognitive function. We can see more anxiety, depression, and all of that. So there's a little birdie saying hello to me outside. There's so much going on. And the only way we can truly heal these things is if we connect back to ourselves and ask the body, what do I need? What state am I in? How am I feeling? Wow, I can't sit still. I tried to do a meditation and I'm hopping all over the place. That's information. It's not that you don't like meditation. It's that everything is revved fast and it's difficult to move down a level into that state of more rest and calm. Maybe meditation is a leap too much, but doing something like mindful walking, mindful housework. I'm a big believer that housework's actually good for us. But we have to connect back to our bodies and listen to, what is the message going on here? What's my body trying to say? What do I need? Who do I need to go to for support? It's not that therapists like myself are out here trying to sell ourselves to make loads of money. Trust me, we are not in this job to make lots of money. It's that we're here to help and support, because sometimes we can see the messages of your body more clearly than you. Or if you can see them, we provide a support system. Or if we need to make some really sensible decisions about a treatment plan that is a kickstart while you learn the skills and tools to create overall balance and better well-being, we're there to help you with those as well. So yeah, sometimes supplements are going to be really helpful, because if we've gone 5 or 10 years, or generally it's a lifetime of manifesting our stress through our guts, we're going to be at a point where we do have irritable bowel syndrome, or we have a parasite, or we've lost commensals in the microbiome, or we have a low level of inflammation at the gut wall, or we have degradation of the protective mucosal layer, or we have endotoxins swimming around the body. So how soon we catch things can minimize how bad things can get, but usually we don't listen to our bodies until things get perceivably uncomfortable. We have a symptom, we have a disease, we have a diagnosis. And that's not great when we get to that point. It feels pretty terrible. However, my belief is we look at where you are and we start to go backwards. The body can heal. If you think about it, I don't know the exact timelines and everything, but our body is constantly breaking itself down and repairing. The cells, the organs, the tissues, even bones are constantly breaking down and remodeling. So why do we stay sick? If we're breaking down to repair, why do we stay sick? That doesn't make sense. Things aren't permanent unless we're doing something that's creating a permanent signal to create that illness. So I think we have to start believing more in the power of the body. It's not something that's breaking and working against us. It's something that's talking and informing us so that we level up and become the parent, the responsible person, the accountable person for our bodies. And it takes a huge amount of mental strength and bucking the system to believe that we can heal. I believe it. It's difficult to talk about my journey in my body with my health, because we live in a world where everyone's talking about their journeys, but they go as far as the point of sickness, and we rarely hear the story of the journey of health. And then those that do turn around big things and get back to health, when they talk about it, they aren't believed, or they're dismissed, or it's made small of. Or generally, if it's something really big, they become a hero, but everyone looks at them and says, I can't do that. However, we can. We can heal way more than we believe we can. We've become disempowered, and we've done it ourselves. We've decided to become disempowered. It's too inconvenient to slow down in life and turn around and say, right, I'm going to start my healing journey here, because it takes time, it takes money, it takes commitment, and it takes a huge amount of mental strength and discipline. It's easier for us to hand it over and go to a doctor. And honestly, we're looking for miracles from doctors these days. They are burnt out, and we're seeing that the system can't achieve what we believed it could. Medicine is young. It's 100 years, 150 years old. When were the first antibiotics developed? During World War I. I mean, that's young. We've put way too much expectation on it. So we think, oh, I'll keep pushing life. I'll keep going really busy. I won't eat a good diet. I'll let myself get overweight. I'll get really stressed. I won't eat. I'll drink too much alcohol. I won't let myself get any sleep. Blah, 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 blah. Then we crash. Then we turn up at the doctors and they have 5 minutes to fix us with a drug. I mean, seriously? It's a bit unfair of us to ask that, but we do. And then we don't even want to be sick, so we take the drug. But every drug is pretty hardcore. It's like throwing a missile into the body. There's a fallout. It's upsetting an innate balance in a direction that is going to cause consequences the other side. So we want to reserve medicine as the big gun for when we really need it. And before that point, we want to step back and go, right, what can I do at this point to get myself better? I'm starting to feel run down. I have a bit of a sniffle. Maybe I shouldn't try and do the gazillion things. I need to slow down. I want to heal myself. I don't want to get really sick. I don't want to rely on, it's a sad truth, and also to kick up the arse, the fact that antibiotic resistance is going to be the biggest killer of human beings in the next decades. Like, COVID is nothing. COVID is this size compared to what antimicrobial resistance is going to create. And I might sit here going, oh, I've been such a good person. I've not really taken that many antibiotics in my life, which is actually a lie. I've needed them at times too, just like everybody else. But I try and avoid them. So I might smugly sit here going, I'm fine. I'm not going to have antibiotic resistance. I haven't taken that many drugs over my lifetime. Or antibiotics, I should be more specific. It's not how it works. And the way antibiotic resistance works is that if anybody takes an antibiotic, or if any animal is given an antibiotic, and the microbes learn to develop resistance, which they do, they're unbelievable. I mean, this is a race on planet Earth, survival of the fittest. So if some of those bacteria learn a way to either push the drug out or overcome it or deactivate it, they have developed antibiotic resistance. They've survived the war coming at them, and their offspring developed that capacity. But not only that, microbes have a lot to teach us in community, because those microbes then send a message out to all of their friends and other bacteria in the community going, this is how you do it. This is how we overcome the antibiotic. And I think it's through quorum sensing. Through energy, they share the message for antibiotic resistance. And that goes out and influences all of us through water, through food, you name it. So it's not me personally that has created antibiotic resistance in me. It's the overuse of antibiotics on a global level in humans and in animals and in farming, agriculture, that has created the problem for all of us. So we're all in this together. And it's going to be a massive problem. We're going to go to the doctor and find that antibiotics aren't working for us. And that's going to happen in the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And scientists are talking about it. So we're going to have to start being really clever with how we manage our health. So we don't need antibiotics every winter time when we get a cold and we don't want to take time off work. We want to save that antibiotic for when we've had an accident and we need a surgery and we need that antibiotic to work. So yeah, as a species, we're going to have to take way more care of ourselves. And I know there's a fascination at the moment with wanting to live forever. And we have a lot of experts talking about how we can increase longevity and we can live, to 120 and whatever. But as a colleague of mine pointed out in a post recently, Will Brink, great guy in America, we want health, not longevity. We want quality of health. We don't want just to hang in this apocalyptic world forever and ever. We want to thrive. We want to be doing things and experience things and sharing the wisdom and knowledge that we gain as we get older with younger generations. Teaching people how we learned resilience in our years of struggle, because life throws us some shit bombs, and how we overcome these things is a message that we share for other people. So I've gone on a huge rant. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Starting off on gut health, but that's where it starts. Our gut, I see it as like this wheel in the center of our being, sort of like this majorly big chakra, and it feeds out everywhere else. And when the gut is off, a lot of other places start to go off. So that's where we start. Any consultation that I do with patients, we look at gut health and all the things influencing that, and then resolving that, and then that spirals out to other things. But it is a journey and it is a commitment, because the protocols that we might put in place for healing the gut are only the start of the journey. The journey after that is learning the vagal nerve. It's learning how to manage our stress responses. It's learning how to exercise appropriately. It's learning how to eat better. It's learning how to sleep restfully. It's learning how to turn ourselves off when we stop at various moments during the day. It's not stopping work and putting family to bed and then going on our phones and stimulating our brains madly. It's about learning how to do the rest and the go. So yeah, I'm here in support if anyone wants to chat through some things, and I'm wishing everyone a lovely day. It's April, it's starting to get brighter. It's a little bit chillier today, but there's a feeling of hope and light and brightness in the air. And I think after the winter hibernation, it's now time to just shake ourselves out a little bit and ask ourselves, where am I going? How do I want to feel every day? What are the things that are important to me? What do I want to set it down as a challenge, just personally, so you feel like you're constantly kind of moving on a little bit and growing, and also, looking at the weak spots in life, or the things that make you feel shit. Or I always think energy is a great metric for our lives. It's funny, we kind of think of energy as this kind of constant thing, and then when we're tired, we're constantly tired, or when we're good, we're constantly good. But we can be up and down in an instant during our days, and those highs where we're feeling, fired up and we've energy, they're generally telling us about what we love and what we're passionate about, and the people that we enjoy being with, and the things that we enjoy doing, or the places that we like being. And when we're down and suppressed and gone inward, and that's telling us a lot too. It doesn't feel good, so why would we want to stay there? So that's where we have to look at, what do I need to change? And it's focusing on where am I good, rather than overly focusing on where am I bad, where am I broken. Growing more of the good stuff, I think, is how we heal. So yeah, I'm just wrapping you all in the biggest love and hugs for the day. And yet again, I never know how to stop these things. Bye everyone, mind yourselves, and thanks for listening.